So UFC 305 had some random press conference in the middle of the night when nobody was watching. It was Israel Adesanya's big return. He was going to face off with Dricus du Plessis. And I'm going to go ahead and spoil the whole video right here by saying that Dricus dog-walked Israel Adesanya. And Israel Adesanya was delusional and cringe. And I guess that's where we can leave it, right?
He tried to discredit the Three Kings.
Let's jump into it.
There's always tension whenever you fight anyone. This is a fight at the end of the day. We're not playing chess, we're fighting. So there's always going to be tension there. We've had history over the years. It's almost like destiny, because we met in the Staff Investor Room in Thailand, Tiger Muay Thai, back in the day. Had a little play around, and funny enough, here we are again. It's like full circle, back where it all started for me. So yeah, and also again, he tried to discredit the Three Kings and say that he's the real true African champion. And I was just like, it's a weird mindset, bro. Like, he came in the UFC, I knew who he was a little bit, but I didn't go, oh, who the fuck's this fake dude coming in? I just said, cool, he's another African in the UFC. But then him discrediting me, Francis Ngannou, Kamaru Usman, that ticked me off a little bit. So that's what started this. But again, I'll finish it.
So right off the bat, we have Israel. And in fairness to him, if we're being honest to him, he does look like he believes what he is saying. Forehead is wrinkled up, the eyebrows are raised. He actually does believe what he's saying in terms of the Three Kings. And I mean, for anybody watching, whether you're a Israel fan, a Dricus fan, or just like a casual fan in the middle who doesn't really give a bollocks who wins, you're looking at that going, okay man, none of that happened. None of that happened. And he's still plowing on with that narrative. And look, fair play to him. Leave him do what he's got to do to get himself back in the mindset. Because in fairness, if we go back to last year, the heat that was between these two lads, all coming and stemming from Israel Adesanya's insecurity, his narcissism, his main character syndrome, and the fact that he's extremely racially motivated, clearly just didn't like the fact that there was a white African dude there. That all kind of culminated with the face-off, with him jumping into the octagon, going absolutely crazy. And if you remember at the time, there was a lot of prominent people in the industry that said that Dricus du Plessis came off the worst in that and kind of ran away and went and hid and pretended to be injured. But in actuality, what we actually witnessed on the night was Israel Adesanya having a mental breakdown. I said it in my video all the way back then, and it got exponentially worse for him. We saw what happened when he went and he fought Pereira. He got whopped. We saw what happened when he went and fought Sean Strickland. Absolutely annihilated and smashed. We've seen him drop out of the UFC, kind of do a little bit of content here and there, which kind of contradicts and makes him look even more delusional, talking about one day you're going to be a man in a bar who said that he beat a guy or some crap like that, whilst he was sitting in a bar talking about that one time he beat Alex Pereira. All very ironic and cringe and delusional, but we expected. We're not going over old ground. This is what you get when Israel Adesanya is on a card. This is what you get when he puts himself front and center to be back there again. The question is always, why did the UFC allow it? Why did they promote it? Why are they so interested in that kind of fruity mental behavior? I don't know. I don't understand it. But that's where we are. Now we have him coming back, getting an automatic title shot. It shouldn't be happening. We all know that it should have been Sean Strickland getting the rematch against Dricus du Plessis, not fighting Paulo Costa in some nothing burger of a fight. There shouldn't be talks of elimination fights with Sean Strickland and Robert Whittaker. That just shouldn't be a thing. It should have been Sean Strickland. It isn't. We are where we are, and we have Israel Adesanya trying to reignite the hype of last year. But in fairness to Dricus du Plessis, whilst he absolutely dominated this press conference, whilst he's absolutely dominated every interaction between him and Israel Adesanya, it is fairly simmered down. This isn't like a crazy build up to a fight. It's not that. But in the same breath, he still battered him.
But again, I'll finish it.
There's no tension for me. I get into the octagon and I do my job. I do my business. You can be the biggest asshole in the world. You can be the nicest guy in the world. I'm going out there to kill you. And I hope you're doing the same to me, because otherwise it's not going to be a good night for you. And as far as discrediting, never discredited anybody. Stating facts. Where do I reside? What's my postal code? Where do I train? Where do I live? Where was I born? In South Africa. Still there, still training. And I won this belt from South Africa. I didn't travel anywhere else. That was the only thing that I stated. So never discredited anybody, but quite frankly, I don't really care about how it rubbed him off the wrong way. I don't care.
I don't really give a fuck where he's from, but I'll show him who he is.
Yeah, whatever that means. I'm glad you took up.
It's got to be the most cringiest, ridiculous lines. I don't care where he's from. I'm just going to show him who he is. And you can see it. As I said a while ago, it's hard. He's got a terrible poker face, Israel Adesanya. He can't really hide anything. As he's saying it, holding the mic there, you can see the inner workings in the head. And he's like thinking, bro, this is going to go down in history. I'm like a vessel from God and I'm just going to put out this one-liner. And people are going to be like, there it is. Israel has returned. Thank the Lord, Israel has returned. I don't care where he's from. I'm going to show him who he is. What? What? Drickus is like, what's that about? It's cringe and embarrassing. So this was the highlight of the press conference for me. They go from this into the stare down. Pretty good stare down. Let's have a little look at this. And one thing that was extremely noticeable for me straight away, and I noticed it across social media, and then Drickus and Israel spoke about it in the aftermath, was the height difference wasn't as huge as it looked when they faced off in the ring last year when Israel had that first mental breakdown. They're pretty close and pretty similar in stature there. Drickus looking like the bigger guy. Decent and intense stare down, in fairness to them. Probably the highlight or one of the highlights of this press conference. They're holding on to it. They're holding on to it. Like, they're not going to do a full Yuri and Alex Pereira where she's a 4-minute 55-seconder. But they're thereabouts, boys, aren't they? In fairness, she's a 50-50 stare down. None of the boys are backing down. Adds a little bit of fire to it. I think it's pretty good. They're still going again. They're returning to it. Anyhow, that goes on there for another little bit. But there was a little verbal interaction that wasn't picked up with the microphones. Here in the aftermath with a terrible out of focus shot from Submission Radio, we have Drickus explaining to us exactly what was said by Israel Adesanya to himself.
From Israel there, what was he saying to you first of all?
I think he said, don't kiss me. As far as I know, he said, don't go kissing me now. And I said, I'm no dog, so I won't. And, you know,
oh, yes. So Israel, in all his wisdom, as the vessel that he is, unleashed another one-liner on Drickus du Plessis. He said to him, don't kiss me now, bro. And Drickus said, yeah, no, I'm not a dog, so I'm not going to do that. Absolutely scalded and burned. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So we had that. We also saw this clip of Israel Adesanya and Drickus backstage, which I thought did emphasize the fact of the height and the size difference.
That he still wants to be here. And I'm just here to let him know it's okay, it's over. It's over. And call it a day, call it a career. He's shorter than I thought, so that makes it worse for him because I'm a thick boy.
That was awesome. That was just because, you know, I wasn't really like, oh, what's going to happen? I was just like, you know, we'll get there when we get there. And then when we got there, it was like riding a bike. He's still here.
And that's the feeling we do.
I'm just going to pause that right there. So it was just like riding a bike. He's still here. Who? We're referring to ourselves in the first person, right? You're Israel. You're the vessel from God, and all these messages come through you, or something like that, right? Cringe.
You know, getting that excitement, you know, that's exactly what he's lacking. He's lost that hunger for the game. He's lost that excitement for it. I lose that excitement today, I'll call it a career, and I believe me, there's a lot of excitement in this heart.
We've been here before. We've been here before.
Woo! Yep. I mean, there's no better place to end it right there. Little bit of hype built up with the stare down, which I thought was good. The fact that Drickus du Plessis dog walked him and made an absolute fool out of him was awesome. Israel, as I said, believes it himself. You know, when you believe it himself, it's not as fake because it's kind of like a schizophrenic type person where they actually believe what they're saying and then they jump over into another personality, and I guess they believe what they're saying over there as well. Same thing goes for Israel. It is what it is. It's going to be an interesting fight when these two boys step into the octagon together. We'll see if Israel Adesanya is going to keep on pushing to reignite that kind of racial fire that he started the last time. Doesn't look like Drickus is interested in it, as he wasn't really interested in it back then, but we know what the media did. They all turned on Drickus, and we had Ariel and we had everyone else piling on him, saying that it was him and his team that made this thing a thing. It is what it is. Let me know your thoughts down below, what you thought of the press conference. Let me know if you thought that Israel did extremely well and that he mogged him and all this type of stuff. And if any of it made sense, maybe like, subscribe, share. Cheers.